Hey guys, what's up? I'm on my way to Remicade today and I thought I'd take you guys along so you can see what it's all about and so you guys can know what to expect if anyone is also about to get Remicade and doesn't really understand what goes into it and stuff. We're almost there. I'm here with my mom today. She takes the day off when I have Remicade. Because I basically turn into a zombie after Remicade and I cannot drive myself home. I get Remicade every 6 weeks and I think that's a good amount of time for me because even yesterday I started to get like a bit of stomach aches and kind of felt like I needed Remicade again. So depending on the person, it's always different. So it could be between 6 or 8 weeks and for me it's 6. You passed it, Mom. Just some tips for you before you go into Remicade. I like to stay hydrated and you should be hydrated before you get into Remicade because they need to get into your veins. So if your veins aren't very big, it might be a little bit hard and they might poke you a little too much. It's long, so it takes about 2 hours. And so you might want to bring something with you just to like keep yourself occupied. The saline that they put into you, that they mix with the Remicade, is cold. So if you're just sitting there and like getting injected with all this cold fluid, you're gonna be cold. I like to bring a poncho because it's really easy to throw on and off, especially when you have an IV in your arm. If you have a sweater on, you can't really take your sweater on and off. So yeah, ponchos are good. I'm here now and my mom's just dropping me off and she'll be back in like 2 hours and I will be probably sleeping in the car. I'm not allowed to film.
Charged in connection with a 6-month investigation into child sexual assault and online exploitation. For Sibley's open year-round is hosted by I
want to do a throwback picture right now. My hair was kind of... Do you hold on to your wrist?
Okay, so when I got there, they said I couldn't film, so I'm really sorry I didn't get to show anything. I was really excited to show you just like the IV, how it goes in, and like how they mix the Remicade with the saline and stuff, but I could just let you know what happens. So basically you just go in and you like fill out just some patient information. You get your weight checked. Your dosage depends on your weight. So usually it's around the same every time, but if you do fluctuate in weight, then sometimes it does have to be changed a little bit. And then I will get my pre-meds, and not everyone gets pre-meds. I think it's different depending on the doctor. So I get hydrocortisone, Benadryl, and Tylenol just to counteract any reactions that I might have. I've been doing it for a year now, so today was actually the first time they didn't give me hydrocortisone, which is a steroid. I haven't been having any reactions to the Remicade or anything, so I guess that's why. And I guess eventually they won't give me any pre-meds at all. The Benadryl is the reason why I get so tired after and my mom has to pick me up because I definitely can't drive when I have the Benadryl. So the first thing they do is they find your vein. So they'll usually go for somewhere in your hand. I think because they're the most prominent in your hand, and if they mess up and they can't get it in your hand, you can go higher into like this section, or then if they mess up there, you can go up into like your arm elbow crease thing. But they'll never do it the opposite way because you can't try going down. So they wouldn't starting here and then go here and then go into your hand. But for me, ever since I've started getting IVs, the hand is like it's too painful for me because they're so skinny and I guess it hits bones and sometimes it just doesn't even work. So it's not worth it to me. So I just tell them to go here, and it like almost 100% of the time works in here. I would prefer it to be here than in here because then you can still move your arm, but like I don't move it as much, so I can't do things while I'm there. I'm usually just on my phone anyway, but like I like to have a little bit of mobility when I'm there. For me, they take 4 vials of blood before they actually start infusing me with saline. The blood is just to check all your vitamin levels, and sometimes they'll take a trough. So if your frequency of going and your dosage is okay, they'll take a trough to see how much Remicade is still in your system. And then they'll hook you up to saline just while they're preparing the Remicade. So I think Remicade comes in like a small little 100 milligram bottle, and then they like mix it into a bag so they can start a drip. And then they'll put you on that. And then the actual infusion of the Remicade, for me, it took 2.5 hours today. I think it was just a little slower than the last time. I'm not sure why. They start you on a pretty slow drip, and then like every 15 or 20 minutes, they'll like crank it up a bit. By the last hour, you'll be going at its like max speed. When the infusion's done, they just, they switch you off from the Remicade bag to just like a little saline bag, just to like flush all the Remicade through all the tubes, just to make sure that it's all gone into your body. And then they'll just pull it out and like put a little one of these on. You just like hold it for a couple minutes just so your vein can like close up. So yeah, the whole thing took, I guess, 3 hours from the time I got there to the time I left. The scariest part is actually just the needle. The rest of the time you can't feel it at all. And if you've had an IV before, you know, it's like, it's just a little bit of a prick and then you're good to go. I think that was my 11th Remicade infusion, and I have never been able to just watch the IV go in. It's like, it would make me faint, but today I watched the whole thing, and it was really, really cool. So yeah, you just get used to it, and it didn't take a year to fully get used to it. Like I was going in for like months and I was fine. Just today I just like had the courage to watch the whole thing and like not faint. If you do start to feel like you're gonna faint, in this clinic they have chairs where you can just kind of recline, and I think if you recline a little bit and just breathe, like you'll get better. At the beginning I would have to be lying down, even for like just like a blood test. So it's different for everybody. It's pretty straightforward, but maybe one day I'll ask and they can maybe make an exception for you guys. That would be pretty cool to see. But just like, you can totally just Google how an IV goes in, and like there's thousands of YouTube videos. So if you want to just know what to expect in that sense, then just Google it and you'll find it. But anyways, that's, I guess, all the tips that I have for Remicade. I hope that if you have been prescribed Remicade and you don't know what to expect, this might help you a little bit. Or if you were thinking of maybe going on to Remicade, but maybe thought it might be a little scary, or not what you thought, then maybe this will help. Okay, so I forgot to mention about like traveling and stuff. So this is one of the concerns that some people have about Remicade, just because of the reason that you have to go into a clinic to do it every 6 to 8 weeks. Some people think that you can't travel. I've been traveling quite a lot actually since I was diagnosed. They're pretty good about it. So if you need to travel somewhere, they will try to accommodate you for wherever you're traveling. There are clinics all over Canada, and I'm pretty sure like all over the world. If you need to go to Europe or something, they would totally set up for you to get Remicade done there. They're really good about getting you your medication. But also, just because it says 6 to 8 weeks doesn't mean you can't take it earlier or later. If your infusion lands like right on a week that you might be on vacation, you can reschedule to do it a week earlier. That's what I actually did when I was going out east. For my last infusion, I actually did it at 5 weeks instead of at 6 weeks, and it was totally fine. I would much rather do it earlier than later. So yeah, traveling is no problem at all, and yeah, doing it earlier is totally and completely safe. It doesn't affect you at all. If you are interested in seeing what I did out east, I will link a video below and you can check it out. It was super fun, and I did not feel sick at all. Like all my symptoms, I didn't have any symptoms at all, and yeah, it didn't stop me from doing anything I wanted. So I'm glad I'm at that stage in UC where I feel comfortable enough to go out and like it doesn't stop me from doing anything. So yeah, I guess that's about it. So I will see you guys later, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. Bye.